Warning, the following video contains spoilers. If you don't want this episode spoiled for you, switch the video off now. But funnest isn't even a word. I mean, whatever. I'm just going to get really pedantic if I start talking about that kind of stuff. This is going to be the final week, dear listeners, of you having to deal with my spinny head. So make do and enjoy it, because I finally got a new camera. I'm just working a few things out to get it working. But what about you, dear listener? What did you think about this week's episode of My Hero Academia? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll get back to you shortly, either directly in the comments themselves, or towards the end of next week's video in its own special segment. And be sure to like, favourite, subscribe, click the bell, and do all the YouTubey stuff that YouTube wants you to do, because YouTube's an increasingly scary place for small content creators. Support your local small content creator today. It does them a power of good. We'll start off talking about Gentle Criminal, as I feel that for good or for ill, that's where the meat of this week's episode lay. This week we get a clear idea as to what his motivations are and what his grand scheme for villainy is. Though if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, dear listener, I'm not sure if I fully understood them. His bit about heroes and villains at the start of the episode kind of felt a little bit like a word salad to me, and it really threw me off. And I had to replay that moment several times over just to try and understand exactly what he was going after. Maybe it was the dyslexia, I really don't know, but his big plan seems to be that he wants to blur the lines between heroes and villains and take the whole world back to a simpler, if a lot more of a chaotic time. He does not see himself as being a vigilante or an anti-hero. He sees himself as being a gentleman thief, even if the gentleman part at this point seems more like surface level than anything else. However, as interesting as a motivation as that may be, his targets, as someone says in the comment section in the videos that he's referring to, are just way too small a scale, and really odd in the grand scheme of things. They're the kind of small scale things that I don't really think anybody's really noticing them. The whole deal with the supermarket is just there because they put the wrong expiry date on a bunch of pudding cartons. A matter that in reality would have been dealt with either by an industry watchdog or some kind of governmental inquiry. So unless they're suggesting those particular parties are corrupt, which would be an interesting angle to go with, but they're not saying that, not really showing that, you know. If they are corrupt, can we see that? Can we see that? Because that would be really neat world building. Will kind of make our villains' actions feel a little bit more grounded and a little bit more understandable. Because otherwise it just makes our villain look like a crazy person. And not crazy in the Stain kind of way, but crazy in the local man on Twitter ranting about how his dentist is putting listening devices into his fillings to spy on him on behalf of a zombie Kaiser Wilhelm II. His motivations oftentimes just feel really, really strange. He wants to be a gentleman thief, he wants to have this big YouTube presence, but he's not actually doing anything to really get people interested in what he's doing. And now he wants to do something to do with UA, possibly with Eri, given what he said last week, which just makes him feel like he's horrifically out of his depth. So unless this guy has some kind of really awesome quirk, he's really bollocked, because he's just going to be there like, ha, here I am here to make a statement once again, I am gentleman criminal, I'm here to do, oh God, my face, oh God, oh stop pummeling me, ah, oh. It's just getting his ass handed to him the first moment he appears there. And does this guy know at this point that everybody that's going to be at this festival is going to be kids? And he's like 7 foot tall or something. Or that or Labarva is just incredibly short, but, you know, whatever. Unless he has some kind of master plan in place, he's just going to appear there. Like someone trying to do a prank that horribly backfires, and it's going to backfire on him, but we'll soon see. But you know what, he feels as though this guy is just a character, a villain just for this small arc, so maybe he will just get his arse handed to him and that will be the end of him, we'll soon find out. The plans for the UA School Festival are going swimmingly. There's not really much to discuss about it, in all honesty, but it's really great to have some neat character developing moments and some really fun jokes. The stuff with Marionetta was great. Seeing him seemingly try to rap and he just ends up saying fuck repeatedly was really funny, and him lamenting about his character design and being unable to play the guitar was really fun. I do have to question the logic, however, of having Aoyama be the human disco ball. I mean, this is a guy with a really weak stomach, and if you're spinning him around and asking him to use his quirk for the duration of the act, well, All I can say is I hope that you give everyone attending the event ponchos. Oh my word. Anyway, let us just, with all that said and done, dive off into the overview and my overall feelings of the episode as a whole, for good and for ill. Okay, so the overview, what were my overall feelings of this week's episode of My Hero Academia, and overall I thought that it was another fun episode that ticks a lot of the right boxes for me, certainly as far as character moments for our extended cast go. It was neat to see that Bakugo had some emotional baggage still from when he was kidnapped a few episodes ago, a few seasons ago at this point, and it was really neat to see that that's still lingering with him and affected him on a mental level. It adds depth to his character, which I feel that he desperately really needs, otherwise he's just coming known in pop culture as the really angry, explosive one. The stuff with Midoriya learning to control his quirk was neat, but it kind of felt like it was there just to remind folks at home that this is his show more than anything else, more than it is about unlocking a new level of power. It's just they're like, oh, don't worry everyone, Midoriya's still here, buy the toys, buy the toys. However, with all that said, I'm still kind of confused as to what Gentle Criminal's grand plan is and what his true motivations are. Maybe it's just part of someone being who's dyslexic having to read subtitles at such an early part of the day, but even with that said, it kind of feels a little bit muddled, and possibly not intentionally so. I'm sure that in the future episodes we're going to get a little bit more to help us better understand him and his plan and his quirk and all of that. You know, he doesn't need to be overhaul levels of interesting, he just needs to be at least memorable, which hopefully will be, and he won't just be the, oh yeah, you remember that guy with the mustache who was kind of like a really crappy YouTuber? No, not the guy that did Holds Variety Pack, the guy from the TV show, the anime program. Yeah, him, yeah. Wasn't he a thing? Also, Labava, she really creeps me out. I don't know why, but she creeps me out. She makes me feel weird. I don't like her. She's creepy. She's creepy, short, sidekick person. And I just, oh, whatever. What about you, dear listener? What do you think about this week's episode of My Hero Academia? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll get back to you shortly, either directly in the comments themselves, or towards the end of next week's video in its own little segment. Be sure to like, favourite, subscribe, click the bell, and do all the YouTube stuff that YouTube wants you to do, because YouTube's an increasingly scary place for small content creators. Thank you for listening, and goodbye!